Back on The Real News. Our website is therealnewsradio.com. We have made some significant changes to that, thanks to Travis, and I would like to thank him for that. So you can check out our website. Also, I'd like to mention there is a clip on our website on featured videos of the Iraq veterans against the war. They were protesting at the debate last week, and they were trampled by police with horses. It was quite a shame to see our Iraqi veterans treated in such a way. I would like to ask everyone to look at that. We can't really play it on the air because it's nothing that would be radio friendly, but you can go to that and look at it. We should be joined by Roy Carter shortly. And while we were on the subject of the ACLU, they this week filed a Freedom of Information Act under expended processing to the Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security earlier this week. The American Civil Liberties Union today demanded information from the government about reports that an active military unit has been deployed inside the U.S. to help with civil unrest and crowd control, matters traditionally handled by civilian authorities. A press release on the ACLU website explained this deployment jeopardizes the long-standing separation between the civil and military government, and the public has a right to know where and why the unit has been deployed, according to the ACLU Freedom of Information request filed this week. And like I say, very rarely do I'm on the same side as the ACLU, but here one time it would appear that they're trying to get something right. But everyone better recognize that for the first time ever, the government has openly stated they are deploying troops on the streets here in America in case of a crisis. Supposedly, just by coincidence, we are at the beginning of an economic meltdown. I stand here sounding the alarm bell, sending out the wake-up call. We have been sold out by Washington, our rights are being trampled, and it is high time the Americans take back our country and our government. And this, as me and Brian have discussed, is the duty of our National Guard. If there's problems here on the American streets, that's the duty of our National Guard. Of course, I guess they're all deployed in Iraq and can't come home. But we reported this, and then it's been reported now on Glenn Beck, Lou Dobbs, Democracy Now!, InfoWars, several places, and I just wanted to comment on that, let everyone know what was going on. And this was happening this week in the news, and I found it very interesting. Powerful generals and admirals from some of the most powerful nations on earth are reportedly meeting somewhere in the local area this weekend after flying into Adirondack Regional Airport in Lake Clear on Friday. This is in upstate New York. Among the passengers of a large Boeing 757 airplane with United States of America printed on its fuselage were top members of the United States Joint Chiefs of Staff and their counterparts from France, Germany, and other countries, possibly Great Britain. A town in Harriettown councilman and airport committee members who was there when the plane landed. A top military delegation from Italy flew in on a separate Falcon airplane. Town Supervisor Larry Miller, also on the airport committee, was also there and confirmed which nation officials were on which planes, but he said it did not know what kind of officials they were or where they were going from the airport. And he and DeFuria had to get security clearances to be present, and that soldiers were guarding the 757s around the clock at the airport. The Joint Chiefs of Staff is the leadership council of the U.S. military, comprised of top general and admirals of each branch of the armed services. Its current chairman is Michael Mullen. I find this very interesting, and this has been totally unreported. Our Joint Chiefs of Staff are meeting with several countries' highest military leaders out in the middle of nowhere. Meanwhile, our economy is collapsing, and it just so happens the government is for the first time deploying troops here in America. I see all the pieces falling into the place for a possible martial law in America, as was reported by some of our Congress when voting for the bailout. We're a very unsettling time, people, and I want to report today major military leaders meeting practically in secret, and for what, no one knows, and it's going totally unreported by the mainstream press. Something that we want to do after the election is we're going to get into Monsanto and the Terminator seeds, and We've got a story that we're going to do on that, hopefully after our interview with Roy Carter, which should be coming up very soon. And if anyone is aware of the situation with Monsanto making seeds that won't reproduce and they're being forced on the Iraqi people, we'd like to hear from you. We're going to try to find an expert on that. I don't know. Do you know of anyone we maybe could contact to have on that subject?
Jeffrey Smith, I believe, is a prominent expert on the situation.
Hello.
Heard anything about Hollenbarker supposed to have built some cops or some camps here in the United States that will house about 200,000?
Hello, you're on the Real News.
This is Roy Carter.
Hey, Mr. Carter, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Doing real good. I want to thank you for joining us on the Real News. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. And to begin, if you'd like to just tell us again a little bit about yourself and how the campaign is going.
Okay, and it's my pleasure to be on. Thanks for having me. Well, I am Roy Carter. I'm in about the 16th month of this campaign. I'm not a career politician. I have taught school and coached high school football for 40 years and decided to get into the political arena because I feel like our country is headed in the wrong direction and we need someone besides career politicians to do what and try to reshape some of the things that's going on with our nation.
Well, I wanted to start, as you probably know, the topic that's on everyone's mind today is, of course, the economy. And I would like to get your opinion on the bailout. Would you have supported it, or what do you think is the proper way to handle our economic problems?
Really, our economic problems didn't happen overnight, but it certainly has been because, I believe, because of the failed economic policies over the last 8 years. And I think we have to go back and look at some of the real reasons behind that, and I think the deregulation and turning the mortgage companies pretty much free and not doing the things that's necessary to look out for the economy has caused this. As far as the bailout, I made a statement early on and sent a press release out that if they would take the pork out of the second bill and do more for the homeowners, then I would support the second. That didn't happen. So it left me thinking, and not being in Congress, not looking at the entire bill, not being able to study it, I would have been hard pressed because of the amount of pork to vote for it, but I did realize that something had to be done, and there's a possibility, and that I would have just kind of squinted my teeth and held my nose and shut my eyes and voted for it. But I was very disappointed with the amount of pork that went in there, with the lack of help for the homeowner when we're having 10,000 homes a day foreclosed on.
Wasn't it amazing that they didn't pass the first bailout, then added $150 billion worth of pork to it, and then passed it? I mean, it's amazing what our Congress will attempt to ram down the throats of the American people.
Well, it was all, just to get enough votes to do something. So, in hindsight, and hindsight's 20/20 always, it would have been better to pass the first bill and where it didn't have all the pork, and hadn't added all the pork in it. But even the first bill, I think we should have worked harder and not hit the panic button hardly as fast to do things to help the homeowner. I think that was the biggest fault of both of them.
Mr. Carter, this is Brian. One of the things I noticed about the bailout situation was it reminded me of the same way the Patriot Act was passed. It was just shoved down the throat of Congress, where they just really didn't have enough time to go over it before they were pretty much forced to vote on it. Would you agree?
I agree. It was, like I said, somebody hit the panic button way too fast.